I plugged Claude into our RP. It took me around 30 minutes and I was making coffee while Claude was building it. The first thing that broke, it was the server, and the second thing that broke, it was me. It worked, and that was the problem. Let me show you what it actually does to a person when AI starts doing your job better than you actually can do it. So we use our own ERP internally for purchasing stock, HR, project management, and for our timesheet. It's the whole thing. So I wanted to see what would happen if Claude could actually connect to this database, touch it. So not just a chatbot on top of it, it's not a fake demo. No, I wanted to give Claude real access to the data and to our whole operation. I built an MCP connector, I used Claude code to write it and pointed it to our API. It took around 30 minutes with coffee break. Now, I didn't give it the whole access to the whole database. That's a mistake that most people make. I give it access to dashboards, pre-calculated views instead of raw tables. If you ask someone to summarize a report, you don't hand them the raw accounting files. You hand them the finished report. It's the same idea. You have less load, it's a cleaner output, and there's less chance of chaos. And when I did that, the server crashed. Why did the server crash? Well, one of those dashboards that I built years ago, I never optimized it because I was lazy. It worked, so I left it alone. And then when Claude hit it, I always ran the query with filter. Claude hit it without filters. Claude ran the query, logged rows, and other people were using. So the whole system, it went down. So that was the first lesson that I learned. AI doesn't forgive the corners that you cut. You and I, we work around bad code. We know which buttons to avoid, but Claude did not know it. Claude just runs it. I fixed the view, I optimized it, and I restarted everything. Now the real test started. One of the most painful jobs in our company, it's writing a project recap. At the end of a project, you pull together what the client signed, what we planned, and what we actually delivered. For a small project, it takes you an hour or two, but for big projects, it takes you days. So for context, we are not SAP. Our projects, they are around 3 weeks for 2 people, not 2 months, 20 people. But the recap, it still takes hours. Because if you want to do that diligently, you have to cross-check 3 different sources of truth. So I gave Claude a template and I asked it to generate a recap for a real project that I just had finished. And what it produced, it was unbelievable. It was a full Word document. It was structurally correct and all the numbers, they actually matched. The language matched with how I write. So I showed it to the other project managers and they were floored. And they said to me, well, we need this too. And they are right, because I've used it 5 times since then and 5 times I've got the same result. So a job that takes me half a day or multiple days, it takes me now 15 minutes. And this should be the end of the story. Problem solved. AI wins, but it's not. So I showed my connector to the development team and the senior devs, they loved it. The younger ones, one guy, he's 30. He's really sharp, very smart. He said something that didn't land in the moment. He said, don't let AI think for you. You still have to make decisions. You still have to do the thinking. But at the moment, I just kind of brush it off. I thought that, of course, I have the expertise and I'm the one checking the output. Well, I was wrong. And then a few weeks in, I noticed something. So every time a client asked me a question, my first move was not thinking, it was promptings. I copy-pasted the email and said, hey, Claude, what about this? Hey, Claude, what about that? I had a Word document. It was just 10 pages and the tables were slightly off. And instead of fixing them in Word, which would have taken me 5 minutes, I prompted Claude 4 times to adjust them. In the end, it took me longer and the output, it got worse and worse, but I did it anyway. And then it got really worse. I started thinking that maybe I should build a client-facing chatbot. So let the client ask the AI their questions. It would save me time and it would save my team time. And that was the moment that I completely missed the point. Because we are a small company in Luxembourg. We have 25 people and 10 people are client-facing. Our entire moat, the whole reason the client picks us, it is proximity. We see our clients in the supermarkets, we see them when we go out in restaurants. And I was about to automate that away, just to save me time. Then came an email. It was a client and we have been working together since months. The scope has been confirmed and I sent him the final document. And here's what I didn't notice. So the document had 3 different types of hours estimated. The plant, and then delivered. The AI had regenerated it a few times as I made some edits, and somewhere in that process, the planned hours, they got stuck on a single month. But the estimation covered the full project. So in the end, the numbers, they didn't match anymore, which should not be a problem. But I didn't read the final version. I trusted it. The client emailed me back, "Are you sure that this is right?" So I opened the document and I looked at the planning and said, yes. But I didn't check the other sections. So we got on a call and he said, "Mike, which version is right?" So I looked and he was right, I was wrong. I was not wrong on the price, that was still correct, but the planning didn't match what I told him. He wasn't angry, he was just confused. And I had sent a document I hadn't read because I trusted the AI. And that's when I remembered the developer's words. Don't let AI think for you. Because the moment you stop doing the thinking, the expertise you're using to validate the AI, it starts to erode. You don't notice it. Because the output, it still looks good until you send a document you didn't read. And here's what I think now. So this recap tool, it still saves me half a day per project. So I'm not turning it off. But the lesson for me, it is not AI is dangerous. My lesson is when AI works, you stop thinking. Bad AI output you catch immediately, but good AI output you stop checking. You get lazy and then you drift. And for a small company whose entire edge is careful thinking, drifting, it's how you die slow. You don't die fast, you die slow. So what changed? I still use the connector, I still generate recaps, and I still prompt every day. But now I have a rule. Before anything leaves my inbox, I read it, every single word. I don't scan it, I read it. The AI can draft, it can structure, it can accelerate. But it cannot be the last set of eyes. That's my job. And if I let AI take that job, that I am not COO anymore, I'm a forwarding address. If you are running a small company and you're adding AI to your operations, hear me on this. The risk is not that it breaks. The risk is that it works. If you want to see exactly how I built the MCP connector, then comment down below.